落ちた強豪飛べないカラス
What's up with Time Blackwing here. Today I will finally show you my top 8 Blackwing deck profile that I took to Swedish National Championships and actually managed to get top 8. Before we jump into the video, I actually want to give a huge shout out to all of the members of this channel, because actually you took me to Sweden and without you guys this video would not be possible. So thank you. And if you want to see how this deck evolves, because I've actually already changed it a little bit for the European Championships, for the upcoming European Championships that are in 1.5 months, you can become a Diamond or Platinum member from the link in the description below. Get access to deck list, and if you become a Diamond member you actually get access to exclusive Diamond member only videos. But let's jump into deck profile now. So actually also, if you want to know more of how I played and during the days, you can watch the video how Blackwings achieved top 8 in the 2024 Nationals that I already uploaded a little while ago. So yeah, let's jump into the deck. So we run 3 Simoons, basically a 1.5 card combo that goes into Kali Yuga. Banish this, or banish a card, Blackwing card, and extra normal summon this, pretty nice. So 3 of him definitely. Then we play 3 Sadris, and Sadri is just like another Stratos that obviously also summons you a tuner, but then it locks you into synchros. But yeah, it's kind of nice. So 3 of him. Then 3 Shamals, and Shamal is kind of interesting in an interesting spot right now, because it's not actually needed for the 1 card Kali Yuga combo that you just go through Vata, but however Shamal gets you access to the Black for the Whirlwind, and in that way additional like layers that you can play through hand traps and so on, so definitely yeah, needed. Then we run 3 Vatas, and Vata has now become like a you know, 1 card Kali Yuga combo. You need to play a little bit more bricks, but for this event I actually went in with a 42 card deck, just to basically reduces the odds of me drawing into the bricks. So yeah, yep, just really great card. Special summons the Black Winch Dragon, and from there on you can just go into Kali Yuga if you want to. Then 1 Zonda, and this is basically the guy you want to send to the graveyard with like Vata or with Boreal Storm, or yeah, those are pretty much the ways to dump this graveyard, and this card enables you the Kali Yuga combo. Yeah, you can, even if you draw in this, you can still go for the Kali Yuga in other routes, so it's not like necessary to draw, but then you don't have access to the 1 card Vata combo anymore. So yeah, still really great card. 1 Kunai, obviously this is the guy you special summon with Zonda, and this just level modifies your Black Winged Dragon into level 5, and then you can just start go into your XYZ place from there. Then we run 1 Sephiroth, and obviously really great, special summon this with Wise Tricks or send this to the graveyard or whatever, and then you go, you can just play multiple times your Black for the Whirlwind, you know, bouncing that to your hand and stuff like that, so really great card. 1 Harmadan also level modifies itself, so you can make better like synchro plays or XYZ plays or whatever you want to do, and yeah, you basically also need like multiple level 2s in the deck, just so if you want to send the Tippers with something to the graveyard when you special summon your Black Winged Dragon, then yeah, you can send Harmadan to the graveyard. Then 1 Shargna, and this card is just amazing, you know, lets you play through Nibiru. If you get Nibiru, you can just extend your plays with this. It also has a quick effect. If you control a Blackwing Synchro Dragon, Blackwing Synchro monster, you can banish this card from the graveyard and just pop 1 card from on the field, so that's really great. And usually your opponent doesn't remember this, so like this is like a better princess in a way. And people are actually saying that princess should be banned, so yeah. Then 1 Chinook, this is like if Effect Veiler and Kalut would have a baby, so basically reduces your opponent's monster by 700 attack, and then it also negates its effect, so basically you can also activate this like in a damage calculation, which is nice, because it modifies attack. And then for 1 really odd card, I play 1 Garbage Lord in the deck, and this is usually just a small world bridge, but this has other cards, or the theory and ideas behind this card is pretty interesting. So basically you can bridge through any hand trap, like it doesn't matter if you have Troll Unlock Bird, Ash Blossoms, if you have Bell, if you have Ghost Mourner, like it doesn't matter, you know, all of those cards you can just, or Effect Veiler, you can just show those, act with Small World, banish this card and just get to your Sadri or Simoon or whatever starter. Also I was thinking like Assault Synchron here, for example, but Assault Synchron locks you into playing only synchros. So if you would want to go for an SP Little Knight, you cannot do that. With Garbage Lord, however, you can. And it's also nice because with Garbage Lord, it's a level 5 dark monster, so and you can special summon it from your hand by paying 2000 life points. So this is already like 50% of the like Kali combo, because then you just need to somehow get another level 5 monster on the board, and then you can just go from there. So yeah, Garbage Lord is kinda nice. Then I run 3 Black Whirlwinds, and just having Black Whirlwind, like any Blackwing and Simoon in your hand, is just usually like 3 card Exodia. You just pretty much win from there. So yeah, definitely, yeah, just insane. Yeah, 3 Black Whirlwinds. Basically, when you normal summon a Blackwing, you can search a Blackwing from your deck to your hand with less attack than the one you normal summon. So, great card. Next card, Pot of Prosperity, and I was actually almost... I have been thinking to actually drop these for just more hand traps, but the thing is that usually game 2 or 3, whenever you're going second, you have so much hand traps already sighted in that you actually have like sometimes difficulties finding your own engine, and this is where Pot of Prosperity shines, because obviously you can just banish 3 or 6 cards, and then you can start to dig for your own engine to be able to play. Yeah. Also, when going first, this card is just really great, just searching for those, you know, combo starters. Yep. Or starters. Then for the next card, obviously, as we talked a little bit about the small world, 3 Garbage Lords. So Garbage Lords, so 3 small worlds. Yeah, so basically just gives the deck consistency and makes you be able to search for Simoon or Sodri, whichever you want. So that's great. And sometimes even like if Sodri, for example, gets negated, you know, you can just show like an effect value or whatever and just go with Garbage Lord and get Shamal into your hand that usually the Sodri would search. So yeah, you can play it that way as well if you open up good enough. Then 1 Black Feather Whirlwind. This is basically search with Shamal, and yeah, just it's like a black Whirlwind for the graveyard and banished. So when you synchro summon or special summon a dark synchro monster, you just special summon a monster with less attack from the graveyard or banished. And these also have the protection effect, so basically if you have Blackwing Astral Dragons with counters on them, you know, you can just remove 1 counter and then prevent something from getting destroyed once per turn, which is also super nice because usually your opponent might not have read the card or not realized that, so yeah, that is kinda nice. Then 1 rank up Magic Skip Force, and basically this is needed for the Caliuga combo, just ranking up your Brave Strix into Arsenal Falcon. Yep, pretty good. Then Phantom Knight Run Up Magic Launch. This is like the minimum you need to be able to play Caliuga, because you need something to be able to go from Arsenal Falcon into Caliuga, and this is the card. Then all other cards that you're playing, depending on like what you're playing, can make the deck be like a 1 card combo deck. For example, like now we have the 1 card Vata combo, or then you can play less of the engine requirements, but then you know you need more cards to be able to end up on Caliuga. So yeah. Then for the like non-engine 3 Ash Blossoms, I think this is pretty basic. I actually made a video called The Past and the Future of Blackwings, where I a little bit talk about what I think will be represented in the Swedish National Championships. Basically, I like just talk there that okay, if there hasn't been any YCSs in Europe for half a year, why would anybody be actually buying the Snake Eyes deck? So I would kind of thinking that okay, there should be maybe more of rogue decks in Swedish or in Sweden, so that's why I just played this version, or like these hand traps that I'm showing you. But Ash is pretty mandatory anyways, so. Then 3 effect failures, and yep, this was just, you know, it hits, for example, Area 9, Labyrinth, and just good. And in the tournament in Sweden, there were actually a lot of Tenpai players. For example, one of my friends told me that in day 1, which was 7 rounds, he played against 4 Tenpais, and obviously Tenpai is a really great matchup for me, because they just let me go first if they win the die roll, and I'm just like, oh yeah, thank you, like, you're getting Caliuga, so thank you for basically giving me the game 1 for free. But yeah, anyways, yeah, so this card is not good against Tenpai, but then again, against Tenpai they let me go first, so it doesn't matter that much. So yeah, and its effect failure is pretty good against everything else. So yeah, 3 effect failures. Then I run 3 Infinite Impermanences, and this card is just a better effect failure, pretty much good against everything. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what more to say. The only card that you cannot from your hand traps bridge with Small World into any monster, because it's a trap, obviously, but yeah. Then I have 2 more cards in the main deck, so I play 1 Called by the Grave. Just basically the idea here was, for example, I played against Herman Hansen in the last Swiss round of day 1, and there, like game 3, obviously he didn't have a hand trap, so I just Kalyuga'd him on his turn. But the idea here is that if your opponent throws like a hand trap and you can still see the lines that you can enable on or go into Kalyuga, you know, you don't even have to, or you should not even play this. You know, when your opponent is playing a hand trap that where after you cannot see the lines of actually going to Kalyuga, then you want to definitely negate the hand trap. But otherwise, this is like a safety blanket. Just having this in your hand when going first, feeling super yeah, super nice. And for the last card, it was something a little bit special. So 1 triple attack talents, not maybe special, but this is super. I feel like this is super hit or miss. This card, like sometimes it's just the best card, sometimes it's just the worst. So yeah, definitely a card that is good going first and second, and yeah. Sometimes against, for example, Snake Eyes, the idea was that you could kind of bluff an evenly match if they do not know what you're playing, trying to go in the battle phase, and maybe they will play their IP Masquerade or whatever, and then this card becomes alive. But yeah, we're in such a hand trap heavy format, then this card should be still, however, almost alive every game when you're going first. So that's the main deck. It's 42. I actually added some cards there just to be able to. Like, the more cards you play, the less odds you have of seeing those, like, engineering requirements or bricks. But yeah, let's go to the extra deck. So, 1-0, and obviously this card burns your opponent for 800. Great time when time is, like, called or it's arriving. And obviously this card also helps you to normal summon multiple times during one turn, because when you summon this, you actually get an additional, like, normal summon, so that's nice. And also, if there are cards that cannot be targeted, this card can make their attack decrease by 800 because this card doesn't target. So that is like super nice. So this card kind of can out non-targetable monsters, and then you can just attack over them. But yeah, so 1-0. Then 1 Borea Storm, and Borea Storm is just like a foolish Burial with Go Guardian effect, really nice. And obviously you can also just send with this card the requirements for the Kalyuga, and then you can just go with these 2 into the combo. Yep, really nice. Then 1 Blackwing Dragon. Usually you just summon this with Vata. I don't think there has been ever a game where I have summoned it in the tournament without going into Vata. But yeah, just really nice. I like this card, which is odd to say because like 10 years ago it wasn't that great, but yeah. 1 Blackwing Full Master. I didn't play against a single Flu Wanderers, but if I would have, I can just summon this card in defense. For example, if they Dimensional Shifter me and just, pray that they would play Flu, and then I, most likely just win the game, because Flu has a really hard time outing this card. So yeah, it's good. And also like this with Chagna in the graveyard or whatever, it's just really great. Then 2 Black-Winged Dragons, Astral Dragons. I was actually thinking about like playing 1 and 1 Dispatter, but I just ended up on playing with these, because the idea here is that, or a little bit of a theory again, so the longer the card game is, or like Yu-Gi-Oh is evolving, the more effects a card will have, and obviously the more these will burn. So that's that's kind of the idea here, and we're again in like a tier 0-ish format. Last time we was in the tournament format, and these guys were just like burning so much my opponent's life points. And now against Snake Eye, like if I cannot defeat them, I can just leave 1 or 2 of these and just hope that they will have like so many monster effects they need to play before they can like try to like attack over these or remove these with monster effects, that they just lose to those like monster effects or the burn damage basically these cards are doing. So yeah, 2 Blackwing Astral Dragons. And also these cards with the Black Feather Whirlwind is really great, because then you get the additional protection effect. So yeah, 2 of these. And actually during the tournament I was actually like a little bit looking that, okay, the games where I play would have this pattern come up. No, it wouldn't have. So yeah, I just really like 2 of these. For the next card, the XYZ is already 1 Raider's Knight. So basically, if your 1 card Vata combo gets somehow negated or whatever, you draw into the bricks into your hand, this card still enables you can play the Kalyuga line without the 1 card Vata combo. This is like, then it requires you to have like more cards in your hand, but yeah. There are times where you need to, for example, banish the cards with Simoon or whatever, so yeah, this is great in those situations. Then the 1 Brave Strix. In the tournament I actually just went more straight into Brave Strix than going with like Raider's Knight into Brave Strix and like going from that route. So yeah, one Brave Strix just charges you the Skip Force, and yeah, great card. Enough said. Then this is kind of an interesting spice here in the extra deck. So Arc Rebellion Dragon. The idea here was that if my opponent, let's say I'm playing against Snake Eye, and they somehow I hand trap them a little bit, and they have a like subpar field, and they have Dimensional Barrier set, you know, I can still try to like play for my combos, and then they Dimensional Barrier me, they say Synchros, and I could still go for like Raider's Knight, Arc Rebellion play effect, and just like OTK. So that was basically the idea here. So this combination helps me combat Dimensional Barrier a little bit. Dimensional Barrier should be banned, but anyways, yeah. So yep, because yeah, I scared that card a little bit. Unfortunately, that didn't come up a single time during the tournament, so maybe I was just super lucky in that sense. Yeah. Also, just helps you basically break boards when you're going second, OTK easily. Yep. Then for the next card, Arsenal Falcon. Obviously, this card is actually pretty nice when you have like you have Raider's Knight and Brave Strix. So basically now this card can attack actually 2 times, and Brave Strix actually gives it like 700 more attack. So it's 3200. So makes a little bit more damage that way, I guess. But yeah, and yeah, Arsenal Falcon is basically here just to be able to rank up into King Caliuga. And the next card, King Caliuga, obviously just super nice. My opponent's faces, every main face when I drop this is, you know, they're like, are you kidding me? Nice game, good game. But yeah, just really good, you know, especially this format when there's so much like tempi in tournaments running around, and even if you lose the die roll, they make you go first, and then you just summon this on their main phase and they cannot play. So yeah, I would say like a good meta call, or like odd meta call for this format. Then Ultimate Falcon. The idea with this card is that when you detach a monster on your turn, your opponent cannot activate any cards for the rest of that turn. So when you summon this, you play the effect, and then your opponent has to Nibiru you. If they do not Nibiru, then you can do your like vulnerable combos and stuff, because they cannot Nibiru you, and if they Nibiru you at this, then you can still usually go for like Caliuga or some nice board. So yeah. Then one SP Little Knight. This is definitely not needed. I would say this card comes up like every 15th game or something like that, or match actually, 15th match I would say. I usually never do this, it's like it's super rare, so you can definitely play the deck without it if you're on a budget. So yep. One White Strix, yep, just summons like a separate from the deck if you haven't gotten access to it already. Pretty good. And also searches the rank up card where when our Red Raptor monster's effect is activated. And then for the last extra deck card, we run one Darkness Metal Dragon Dark Steel. Yeah, just a great card. Special summons back stuff from the banished or in the graveyard, and when the card is left the field like again, it actually goes back to the extra deck or the normal deck depending on, you know, where it came from. So actually puts back resources. So that is nice, and you can do this every turn, so if the game becomes a grind game, this card is pretty good. Then for the side deck, I played 2 Nibirus. The idea here was that I definitely want to play at least one, so I could just cross out Designator, like with Nibiru. I decided to play 2 because like I didn't think that they were gonna be that much like meta decks. For example, like I didn't think they were gonna be that much Snake Eye, so only 2. Like this is good against Snake Eye and Yubel, but like against Tempai doesn't do anything, against Voice doesn't do anything. Also, yeah, it's kind of, yeah, not the greatest, but 2 was still okay. 2 Ghost Ogres, yep, I think just more hand traps when going second against Snake Eye, for example. Great card. Enough said. And then 2 Draw Unlock Birds, and this card was actually quite good, or like it was better than I anticipated. It's really good against like Voiceless Voice, and usually when people do not try to play against or through Draw Unlock Bird, it's actually just better, because like against Runic it's good, against Purley it's really good. So yeah, against like this random decks that are still super strong, it can be really good. So yeah, also against Snake Eye, for example, game 3 I lost because I think I didn't see the cash engine like game 1 or 2, so I didn't side this in. But then game 3 he started with the freaking Cashier Field spell, so I should have definitely sided this card in. But yeah, so yeah, 2 draws is really nice. Then for the cards that I side in when I go first, 3 crossout designators, 1 didn't arrive in time for the tournament, so yeah, I had to lend 1, but I still played 3. And usually the side patterns are when you are going first, you just side in these. So 3 crossout designator, 1 Nibiru, 1 Ghost Turbo, 1 Roll, and then you side out 2 Ashes, 2 Effect Veilers, 2 Infinite Impermanences, so that way you can play through pretty much almost everything. For the next cards, 3 Cosmic Cyclones, I usually sided in these like every time when I went second, just because I didn't want to lose like to a deck lockdown or skill drain or whatever Undisciplined Fragrance that your opponent might have set, and you never know what your opponent is siding in when they're going first. So yeah, 3 Cosmic Cyclones, pretty good. Good against Labyrinth, good against Runics, and yeah, pretty good. And for the last card for this event, I ran 3 Forbidden Droplets. The idea here was that it's pretty okay, against like Voiceless Voice, it's pretty okay against Snake Eyes, and any deck that makes a huge board, so like Despia or whatever. The idea was here that you could just kind of force with, or you could like start to combo, then when your opponent would negate your stuff, you could just chain Droplet, and then you would try to go into Trader's Knight and into Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon, just trying to OTK. For example, like if you play this on Appaloosa, it becomes 0 attack, so then they do not have to have that many monsters, or there shouldn't be that many monsters on the board for Arc Rebellion Dragon to be able to hit 8000, and then you could just attack over the Appaloosa. So yeah, that was the idea there. So yeah, pretty basic, pretty good card. But yeah, that was the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it, and as I said, I'm actually going to the European Championships in 1.5 months, so if you want to see how the deck evolves, because it already has evolved, you can become a Diamond or Platinum member from the link in the description down below. Thank you for all of my members, because this top is just because of you. I would not probably have gone to Sweden if it weren't for you to play this deck, so this is all thanks to you. Thank you for being a member, thank you for supporting the channel, thank you for watching, and as always, I'm out.
それでも一人じゃなくなったあいつは強いよ。